Mm, 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 mm. Yo, what is going on, everybody? My bad, I didn't even see y'all jumped on yet. So for the first time in a long time, I can't really remember right off the top when this has not been the case, but we started off Raw without like a major angle playing out. And it's not like weird. It's just weird that they've never done that. Like they should switch it up, right? They should mix up the format every once in a while because we all know like if you're a big fan of wrestling and you want to see like what's going on with the big angle, like just watch the first hour. You'll pretty much be good, right? And even if you're not good, watch the first hour or like watch the first 30 minutes and the last 30 minutes and you'll definitely be good, right? This is a show of recaps. Let me tell y'all guys, I was watching because obviously we're a little behind right now, but oh shit. I was watching and I said oh, let me fast forward because I'm behind. Dude, I literally fast forwarded 3 different times and we're still watching recaps. You know what I mean? And then like even then they're like, "Oh, here comes Jacob Fatu and Jimmy and some random kid that they haven't mentioned." And then it's like he's going to be wrestling LA Knight and it's like again? Okay, well, what's the new thing on the show today? Tell us what we're getting like today that's like cool because you did your brand awareness party on Saturday with Saturday Night Main Event, right? Like that was like a big waste of nothing. And obviously we're going to talk about it, but we are going to watch along with Raw, which actually has a fucking banger tag team match going on right now. I can't say for sure that the tag titles are on the line though. Nope, they're not because if they were on the line, they'd be on the podium. So this is I'm gonna guess a non-title match. At the same time, it would be there would be continuity to say that there is no continuity. So um, shout out to Matt in the chat. He says, champ. Shout out to Matt. Machine Gun killing it over there on Talking About Radio TBR with Matt Garces. Make sure you tap in with him on YouTube and on Twitch and on TikTok. What's your expectations for Doomsday after seeing the trailer? Very good question, Mr. Alex. I appreciate you being here with us early. Well, it's technically not even early. I should have been live like 3 hours ago, but whatever the fuck ever. Okay, so let's talk about it. I watched it, I would say like probably like 25, 30 times in a row. I was in the shower. I had just gotten done with a workout. And what the fuck is that? Oh, some gay guy talking in the thing. It was me. But anyway, oh, I was like, did I just control this? So anyway, I saw Marvel was live and I said, oh shit, San Diego Comic-Con. Fuck. I just didn't even think about it. It's been on my mind all last week, all last month, but all last week. And I literally woke up today, totally forgot about it, went to the gym and still forgot about it. So then I click on Marvel, they're live, and they're just showing the trailer over and over and over and over. And I think at the time that I was in there, they maybe had 4,000, 5,000 people in there. By the time I went back like an hour later, I don't know how long it played. I know that I watched it for like 15, 20 minutes straight. So I don't know. It's actually probably, I don't know how long was the trailer. It couldn't have been more than like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, right? Anyway, so I watched it and I also started to think about when the in-game trailer came out, right? Because like when Infinity Wars trailer came out, honestly, it felt I was mad at the studio. I was mad at Feige. Like, if you're gonna put out shots that you're literally gonna take people out of to save the you know the movie and the continuity and all that and the structure and the story and all that, understood, but then don't put the shit in there. You control the trailer, right? You know that there's like no button over here that's like, oh, if you did the wrong scene in the trailer, we're pushing it and we're hitting the space laser. No, I'm just kidding. That's a joke. Oh, that was too early for that joke. So at the end of the day, I think what I thought of initially was, how did this compare to the other times? And when In-Game's trailer came out, I think I cried in a restaurant. We were celebrating one of my grandparents' birthday in San Antonio, and we all drove out there. No, I'm sorry, we were in Houston. We went to what's the place where they do the fighting? What's it called? Like they did it in Cable Guy, and it's like with horses and jousting, right? It's like very Game of Thrones-esque, very you know, House of the Dragons, which was fucking amazing last night, by the way. I forget what it's called, but anyway, we were going there, and the day before we went to this restaurant, right? And it's like this really like old school restaurant in Houston. It's like they have hallways that have like video games all down them, and like each side is like nostalgia based. It's a really cool place. I can't remember what it's called. But we were driving in. We were one of the last people, me and Ash, to get to the San Antonio. But this is like a family of Munguias. So like literally everybody was like 9 hours late total. So we actually were supposed to get there the week before. No, I'm just kidding. But the thing is that I watched that over and over in the car on the way there. But obviously I was driving, and so it's like I couldn't watch it really. So we stopped. I told her, I said, I'm gonna watch this a couple times before we go in. And she's like, you can watch it once and then we're going in. I was like, ugh. So I watch it once, I go to the thing, and my grandparents are they're almost 80, and they've been together since they were kids. And it's like one of the most beautiful stories. And don't even get me into the aspect of my grandfather whose brothers were heavily connected to East Mexico and West Mexico cartels. And the story of my grandfather shifting completely from them when he found out that my grandmother was pregnant. And here they are celebrating together. And I'm literally crying because I see Robert Downey Jr. is alone in space. I'm like, sorry, Grandpa. Go be the patriarchy somewhere else right now, because I need to see these tears that are now my tears. I'm accepting the fate of Robert Downey Jr. now, right? I had to like literally like stop myself from crying in a restaurant filled with people on a Friday night with my entire family there. I say all that to say that's not what I got from Endgame. And here's the reason why. I don't know if this is the reason, but this is definitely one of the reasons why. We knew everything. We knew everything that was in that trailer. We've heard discussed everything in that trailer, to the point where I feel like my brain conjured it up. In fact, we'd heard so many descriptive analyses of this story, because this was the same Comic-Con they got to watch like 4 months ago or whatever, right? And we got such a descriptive story from these journalists and content creators that were able to like retell it to us, that AI was able to grab it and make almost like scene for scene shots. And don't get me wrong, they're very different, of course, for the AI parts, but at the same time, like, it is what it is. We knew Mystique was going to fight Mystique, right? We knew that. I mean, I'm sorry. We knew Yelena was going to fight Yelena as Mystique, or Mystique as Yelena. Yes. We knew that was happening. We knew that Shang-Chi was going to be battling Gambit. Like, everything that trailer provided, I'd already absorbed and loved. So if I never knew anything about this whole thing would have been a Doomsday trailer. I would have gone live way before Raw started, and I would have been like, guys, oh my God, Loki confirmed. Guys, they're bringing back Channing Tatum, guys, from the fucking Wolverine, guys. The guy that was supposed to be in the films anyway and have his own. So, like, I'd be freaking out. I'd be like, thank God they're giving Channing Tatum a chance to do this character for real, outside of the spectrum of, let's be honest, a movie that's supposed to be mostly throwaway comedy, right? Is it canon? Sure. But it's canon because it shows up kicking and screaming. They don't want it to be canon. It has to be canon. They have to put the butts in the seats. And Deadpool puts the butts in the seats. Wolverine puts the butts in the seats. So everything great about this, I'd already expected. I had already absorbed. I've already considered. I was already excited for everything. I've already had the debates of why Professor Xavier and Magneto are friends. I've already had the debates about why possibly, or when possibly in the movie we will see Thor's entire might, entire power with not Widowsmaker. Why did I call it Widowsmaker? Not Mjolnir. What's the other one? The like pick the axe one. And we knew that was coming, right? With all the fucking electricity in the world, dude. Literally, Thor literally got every single electrical bulb and fucking light bulb in the entire multiverse, sucked it into his axe, went to go fucking kill Doom, right? Went for the head because he learned. This is story, guys. This is continuity at its finest, right? This isn't just telling us. This is showing us. And what did they show us? They showed us that Thor learned. If I've got to do the dirty work, then I got to do it all the way, baby. I'm fucking chopping off this guy's neck. And Doom stops it with his fucking in between his index and thumb. All the power in the world. I've already had that debate, how it happened, when it will happen, what it means for it to happen. I already had the debate months ago about what Steve Rogers is there. Is it Hydra Steve Rogers, as Alex had speculated many months ago? Could it be? Maybe. But I've had that conversation. There was nothing about this trailer, and don't get me wrong, I'm grateful, but it's kind of like, you should have put this out like 2 months ago, or at least 2 weeks ago, right? Like we had it for months, absorbing every aspect of it, right? These are people in the industry like Campa, people whose entire livelihood is based on their reputation in the entertainment business. They weren't going to be lying to us. If you didn't believe them, that's because you're not in our communities to understand who went with their word of what was going to happen and what was happening. Okay, I'm sorry. We're going to have to go back because I'm seeing Fatty Bombatti getting pieced up by the Vision. So obviously they lost. All right. I was a little disappointed with the Doomsday trailer. Yeah, Matt. Here's the thing. I wasn't disappointed, but I wasn't disappointed like 2-3 months ago, 4 months ago when we first found it out, right? It's not that I'm disappointed or not disappointed. I'm not surprised. I am not enthralled with anything new thus far. And maybe that's my fault, or not my fault, but maybe that's the plight of being a hardcore fan, right? Like, I don't love boxing or wrestling like I used to, or MMA. Why? Because I've been in the sport as a journalist, and I've seen how gross it is. I have stories off the record from managers and promoters for guys that were the B-side on Fight Night that were treated like fucking garbage, that were literally put in a position where there was no chance they were coming in 100% or whatever, right? And those stories all help me to shape how I see these entities, these genres of entertainment like wrestling and MMA and boxing and even baseball and football and all this stuff. So even when it gets to this aspect of entertainment, right? Just give me something to argue about. You know what I mean? Just give me something to fixate on, because I will. And so because I'm in these communities, to a degree, I ruin things for myself. Listen, guys, I'm the guy, I've told you all this before. I'm the guy who, when I was in high school, going into college, I had friends that were the kids of not famous producer, but like producers that were like well known in the business, right? I didn't know their names. You probably wouldn't even know their names. These aren't like marquee executive producers I'm talking about. I'm talking about like people who have access to aspects of their movies. And I was friends with their kids online, and because I had access to music that came out a little bit earlier than most people had it, in an era where we could do that, I would share what music I had, right? Like 50 Cent's album, which I can say, nope, you know what? Better not. Never mind. Other people's albums. No. Like, yeah, I mean, I did trade 50. I'm not saying I had it early. I'm just saying that, at some point we did trade stuff. And so like, I understand the business to a degree as a layman, and it's limited, but I can say that when I took that venture, I was destined for spoilers. And I'll never forget, a week before Spider-Man's supposed to drop, and everybody's wondering, is Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire in it? A person I've known for a very long time. I won't even call them a friend, just a person I've known for a very long time. Just being their friend in a community on Reddit and in some spaces outside of Reddit, I got it spoiled. I saw him come through the portal. I saw the whole thing, right? And it was recorded on somebody's computer and sent to our group. But I saw it about a week and a half, maybe somewhere between there. It was definitely before the movie came out in America, and it sucked, dude. I can tell y'all, Jim from The Office that plays in the Doctor Strange movie. I saw that about a week, maybe. No, actually less. Probably about like 4 or 5 days before it dropped in America. The week it was supposed to drop, I saw it like that Monday or Tuesday. And it was just a still image. I didn't have a video link at that point or anything like that. But I knew he was coming out. I knew he was going to finally play, you know, Reed Richards. Although it breaks my heart, it might be a blessing that most of the general public have low expectations. Great point, Alex. More of a chance people like the movie and don't take it to the woodshed like Quantumania. Excellent, excellent point. Such a great point. And I'm not going to stand here and have a debate with anybody about how good or bad Quantumania was. I will say that at the end of the day, they put it in a position where it had they made that film seem like it was going to be a tentpole type of film, and it was just another sequel. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't really matter. I think there was a time where it was supposed to matter, and because of that, they placed it in a certain position. Oh, they're just cucking. They're just cucking Otis. That's all they're doing. I'm gonna take these off because I'm good. But this is an excellent point right here. Alex is absolutely right. Alex, who do you think is going to win the WWE Women's Regular Championship? The regular champion. That was fucking fire. And here's the thing. I know Matt came up with that joke. See, when y'all come up here, when y'all go on other people's platforms, right? And y'all are like telling us jokes, let's be honest. Y'all took that joke from somebody online. There's no way somebody online came up with that joke already. No way. There is nobody tapped in enough as Matt is on both things to make that joke. What a joke. Great joke. Alex, regular championship, Matt, that made me spit my water. Dude, see, Alex knows, dude. This is my community. This is why I love us, because we're not just nerds when it comes to wrestling. We're not just nerds when it comes to boxing. We're nerds when it comes to anything, and also we're like, we have like hyper fixated minds, right? And so we have the ability to learn. So then we also have then we test our ability to retain. That's I've read that that's like the way that like a lot of people, like specifically millennials, and the way we grew up, right? That's how we like rationalize or whatever. What the fuck is this? Oh shit, Big Cass! What the fuck? Yo, is Enzo not coming back? What is going on? This is a video vignette of how much of a shitty person Big Cass is? All right, dude. I hadn't seen that yet. Have y'all? I'm assuming y'all seen that, right? Because nobody said anything. Yeah, that was pretty bad, dude. That's like if I was like coming back to the boxing voice and like the promo that they did, like Ness put it out, and it's like, Mario, he was a kid. You better believe he shit his pants. But does he shit his pants now? Question mark. Mario, you remember him as the guy that didn't go to Border Wars, but then eventually he showed up. Why? Did he get a hold of Marquez and start drinking his steroid-filled urine? I think so. That's a fact. And it's like, wait, what? I'm coming back. Why are y'all making fun of me so much? Victory lap time. I told you Roman was getting revenge in Madison Square Garden. What do you mean revenge? What do you mean? I don't remember you saying anything about that. I like Big Cass better than Corbin. Yeah, fuck yeah. I'm not saying I hate Big Cass at all. I'm saying that's a weird way to promote him by like being like, oh, remember this guy that was like a giant piece of shit? Remember we let the entire community call him like a giant piece of shit? Because that was what I remember. And it's like, oh shit, yeah, they definitely did that. Rolling with the homies. Ooh. All right. So while we're waiting for Raw to come back, let me ask y'all, did y'all see Cody kick like a bitch? Holy shit. All right. So I very, very long time. That one Cody Nathaniel Rhodes. I'm just kidding. I don't know if that's his. I doubt it. That's his middle name. that Cody Rhodes is a what's it called? I forgot what I even said about him. But I've said basically that he wasn't like he's not a great athlete. I've made that clear. He's a great wrestler, right? And I think he is all around like he's like if you could say that somebody who's like average at like all the 5 tools is a 5-tool player, then he's a 5-tool player. Absolutely. I don't think he's phenomenal at any one thing, but he checks a lot of different boxes, right? That said though, what the fuck is this movie? The Last House. Man, I feel like all that comes out is scary or like thriller or shit like that. But anyway, the point I was making is I just feel like he's like a guy who, if he wasn't a wrestler, I don't think he could have done anything else. Does that make sense? Like, I don't think he'd have been like I don't think he'd be like a great baseball player at any level. I don't think he'd have been a great football player at any level. I think the only things he could have ever done at like an elite level that are athletic is exactly what he's doing now. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when I said that, a lot of people gave me hate, right? A lot of people gave me hate. I mean, it wasn't just that. I was also making fun of his tattoo at the time. But what I'm saying is that I've been vindicated. I have been vindicated. We have video footage. Whether it was supposed to come out or not, I don't know. But it has now shown us the real Cody Rhodes. And whoa, buddy, what a nightmare.
Cody, good luck. Oh, man.
That's a tough approach.
That is a tough approach for Cody.
It doesn't feel like he wore the right shoes. I don't think he really thought through.
That's the first time I've seen Cody outside of a pinstripe suit.
Right, of course.
Oh my god. Maybe
that's not good.
Better
Yeah.
in the pinstripe suit.
Yeah, he it's a similar kicking style that we saw him at the FIFA station, and it's
you're not going to get any air on that.
No, it's tough.
Not at all.
He's running there. So, Kevin, what else are you doing?
I like how he's like.
The cool thing is we're going to be
Oh
live
my
on SportsCenter tomorrow.
Guys, listen to me, and I'm not joking here. And y'all are gonna want to like talk shit, but this is just like the truth. I have nieces and nephews under the age of 10 that could have made a better attempt than this. Maybe he was nervous. Maybe he wasn't dressed for kicking. I don't even know what that means. He wasn't in a suit. That said, though, there's a lot of reasons. Maybe he was drunk. Who knows? No judgment here at all. I've definitely been high enough to not be able to kick a fucking football. And look, here's the other part. I'm actually like a decent athlete. I'm not a great athlete, but I'm a pretty decent athlete. Always have been. Right? You have to be when you're 5'6" or under playing 5A baseball and starting, right? You have to be something special, I guess. Maybe not. Who knows? But either way, all I'm saying is I don't think I could be high or drunk enough to attempt to kick this bad. That's bad, guys. That's bad. He's a bad guy for this. They're not happy with that on Twitter. I mean, on IG. Last week, Seth stomped Roman. Saturday, Roman speared Seth. Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely. But when you said he was going to get his revenge, I thought you meant like he was going to win at SummerSlam. His name is Cody Raheem Rhodes. Jesus Christ, Alex. Oh, Danhausen's talking. Fuck. Okay, let's watch this, and then we're going to get into the Danhausen controversy. I don't know if y'all seen this. Okay, let's watch this for a second. Single-handedly ended racism. Yep, I think so. Free time. Nope, that's all right. Dude, we're going to have this conversation, Alex. We're going to have this conversation because I saw the video of him being arrested. And you're going to have to tell us how on earth there was anything manly about that outfit. I'm sorry. I'm not even going to take the low shots that everybody else is taking. Not at all. Right? They're just trolling, with the gay stuff. I mean, I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying that's not the route I'm going with. I think there are a lot of very straight men who dress in a feminine or a manner that my generation of high school and college would have called feminine or homosexual, whatever. Nobody's judging. But when you're the guy who's like telling everyone else they're too gay, you're like, oh, you paint your nails. Like, where's the line? What like, why do you, who gets to decide what is feminine and what is not? Like, what's fashion and what is not? Right. And it's like, dude, here's the thing. To be fair, he didn't know he was going to get arrested that day and that his outfit was going to get fucking judged by literally everyone on the right and left and anyone who has a funny bone in their body. No, it's not Alex. Cody Rhodes is a black man. Well, his kids are black. Cody could have been a top 10 welterweight in UFC. Oh my God. I know Alex is trolling. Keep in mind, his body was probably destroyed from wrestling the previous night. Oh man, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I mean, like, that's a fair point. I've been in car wrecks before, right? As a passenger, and your back just is no good. And so I don't know. I could see being in a car wreck, which is very similar to what the body goes through when it wrestles, being a reason you can't kick. But I'll be honest, kicking that bad would make me assume you can't wrestle for months. Like, you didn't just have a night at the office. You had a night fucking getting the stiffest work of your life. You know what I mean? Like, okay. So Danhausen still has the money. That's just theft, guys. That's just theft. That's not. Oh, they caught him. he said if you go on your incel rant over Otis again, I'm out. First of all, I was literally in favor of it. It's a story, you realize that, right? You're the only one of us two who thinks wrestling is real still. So, you know, I don't know. I'll hold the L if it sounded crazy as shit. That's fine. But at the end of the day, it's part of the story and I love it. So, like, I'm not advocating for anybody to, like, you know, shit on women, but I'm also of firm belief that men shouldn't be shit on by women either, right? To have a good relationship, there's had to be some back and forth. From a storyline standpoint only, because that's the other thing. Maybe you're not aware of this. You know, Austin Theory and what's her name? They're not even dating. They're not actually a couple. I don't know if you know that. That might be a shock to you. I know it's crazy to you, but they actually are in couple. I think they're actually coupled up with other people. I know, shocking. Also, dude, I'm sorry. There's no Santa at all. I know it's crazy. Also, you might not have heard this either because it seems like you've been under a rock. We had our first black president in America. Yes, it's true. Also, Michael Jackson died. I don't know if you probably didn't catch that one either. So, video makes a good point. This one of the few times that Cody wasn't in a suit. Yeah. So did he show up trying? That was my thing. I was wondering, like, how much effort, because it's like, dude, if you know you can't throw an opening pitch and you're the president, you're gonna fucking tell them, I'm not throwing an opening pitch, and y'all are going to literally make something up to make me not look like a fucking jackass. Like, I don't think you should have to be able to throw a ball to be a man, or like that's the other people's shtick. They're the other ones who say this is what men do. This is what men. As far as I'm concerned, like the societal aspects of what a man is like take care of your business, right? So a woman can very much be the man of a situation, right? Again, this is like a colloquialism. I'm not using the literal definition of a person with a penis. I'm saying that, like, for me, raised how I was raised, a man takes care of his kids. A man does not mistreat a woman. A man stands up for the values that he believes are not just virtuous, but lead to a better society overall, right? That's it. Anything else that falls in the spectrum outside of that is what, like, manosphere and shit like that, people like that tell you this is what manhood is and what it isn't, right? So like if I point something out and say, okay, but that's as gay as what you're saying is gay. I didn't start this debate. Like, you know what I mean? But I'm just going to point out because I'm from that era, right? So like I'm not going to play stupid and pretend like I don't know what you're saying when you're trying to affirm somebody's femininity or make fun of it. I'm not saying it. At the same time, I'm not saying Cody Rhodes is any less a man. All I'm saying is that he kicks like shit. That's it. And that there's one more data point that I have collected that tells me he's not a very good athlete. You seem like really mad at this dude. Like, first of all, you know, you could call in. It's on IG and TikTok. Every time I go live from this platform, it's literally in the thing. Even though I'm not supposed to share it on there like that. Even though I shouldn't, because it's not the link's not open. But it's like if you wanted to talk shit so bad, or if you wanted to have this actual debate so bad, I feel like you're wasting time messaging a board that I can't even post the questions on. Like I can't even show this on screen. So now I look like a psycho just fucking arguing with some rando drunk off that Wheatley. Not sponsored. Hilarious. Oh my God, Mario. So you know who Ryan Clark is? And did you see what happened to him? I did not see what Ryan Clark has done or said, although I very much enjoyed a lot of his dumb shit over the years. Not like a fan of it, but like, when him and Cam got into their shit, I was like, this is hilarious. This is maybe not what we needed from the internet, but it's certainly better than some of his other takes. Crazy car wrecks, man. Yep. Leave Tate locked up just for his fit. Dude, the low-hanging fruit. I love it. Mex, I'm going to take it with you. It's still real to him, damn it. Yeah, dude. He thinks Austin and he thinks Austin Theory and what's her name are like fucking getting married. Obama wasn't black. I think he was, champ. I feel like I'm hurt. I feel like I'm breaking your worldview, but I think he was. In fact, I'm sure of it. As sure as you could be of something that I personally cannot confirm factually. Like I don't have his like fucking birth stuff, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he's black. Of course you enjoyed Ryan Clark. Yeah, dude. What are you talking about? How do you not? I'm not saying you're like people should be a fan of his work or not be a fan. If you're a fan of whatever he says, you're entitled to that. I'm not saying like I believe what he says or I support his, theories and juxtapositions. What I'm saying is that like he's brilliant for the internet. Like you can watch, like I think what's his name? What's that guy's name? He's Canadian and he's like tries to tell us how to be a great American. Fuck. He does the whole like there's only one gender, prove me wrong. What was that guy's name? You know who I'm talking about though. Like that guy is like terrible. He's like dumb and it's like super hypocritical. It's not to say that his positions themselves are rooted in evil or racism or homophobia or anything like that. It is to say that oftentimes his worldviews clash in a way that makes me think possibly he believes some of the stuff he says. Possibly the other stuff is like a huge grift, right? But like I can enjoy like laughing on the internet. You know what I mean? Like I can enjoy like who's fucking terrible? Asmongold. Fucking awful. I think if you're a kid, if you have a kid watching that guy, you are setting your kid up for potential failure. Asmongold is gross. He is not like anything anyone should be taking any sort of advice from, right? But he's brilliant on the internet. I'm not gonna lie. He says fucking stupid things that are like hilarious, right? Like Hassan, right? Even though of course all of you who can continue to call me a liberal would think that like I'm a fan of Hassan. I'm not. I don't think Hassan adds a very great worldview. I don't think that his own democratic virtue or no, not virtues. I don't believe that his own idealisms of the Democratic Party and the country are rooted in anything more than vibes and feels. I think that he is a less toxic version of MAGA. just as lost, just as baked into his own echo chamber, right? Now, if I was going on political stuff, right? Like, obviously, I would agree with one more than the other, but I'm not. I think both of them are fucking morons and super gross. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. I think you could like enjoy people that are pieces of shit without supporting them, right? Like, I'm not gonna go on Ryan Clark's fucking what's it called on his Patreon and support him, but yeah, I'll be honest. Like Club Shay Shay, right? I have never watched Shannon's podcasts and stuff. I didn't hate him on Fox or ESPN, but I just felt like he was kind of like a slightly more qualified version of Stephen A. Smith, like a guy who's just going to say the thing to get you mad and riled up, right? But here, there's a little more authentication to him. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna fucking watch fucking Cat Williams go off. I'm gonna watch Bobby Lee and fucking what's his name's interview. You know what I mean? Like I think you can enjoy people without like supporting them or believing in them. Dirty liberal. See, I told you. There it was. Very quickly. Mario looks like he subs to Harry Citizen's Patreon. Yeah, I do not sub to any Patreon. That's not because I wouldn't want to, and it's not that I haven't in the past. It's more of a situation where every bit of money and effort that I'm online goes to my stuff now. So like that's the only reason. But I've never and would never signed up to any people's Patreons from a political aspect. I've just been let down so many times. The idea that anybody online is giving you their full perspective and their masked down idealisms, that's a joke to me. That's a joke. But I do believe Harry is definitely top 10 pound for pound. Like from a non-biased pound for pound debater. That isn't me saying that I think his policies are correct or that I think that whoever he was debating's policies are wrong. I'm saying if you are just a normal human being who has not been ideology, if you haven't been captured from an ideology standpoint, let's just say it that way because I'm having a stroke, then you are somebody who and then you're somebody who debates. Like, how did you perform in the debate? Like, you know, how many like did you like was your entire argument just a straw man, right? You know, did you still man your own arguments, right? What perspectives and data points? Like, you don't have to be a encyclopedia, but you do have to present stuff in a way that, like, you know, isn't just going to make your own side horny. That's been the thing that MAGA has benefited from, right? And I'm not trying to like make fun or anything like that, but you know, the facts are, the data is, MAGA is mostly, you know, well uneducated, right? These are people that most of them don't have high school diplomas, or not most of them, a lot of them. I don't know. I'm not saying most of them. I misspoke. What I meant to say was larger than any other collection of American political groups, people that identify as such. Like they're those, that's the people they are, right? It's not like, again, I'm not making fun. I'm just presenting the data and the facts. So like from that perspective, I definitely say Harry's a top 10 debater for sure. I would say, see, like the opposite, and I can do this. I'd say Andrew Wilson is probably he's certainly a top 25 debater for sure. I think he's the grossest. I think he's one of the grossest human beings on earth. Like, I can sit here and say that as a debater, as a person presenting arguments, how does he match up? I hate to say it. I do, because I dislike him as not as a person. I don't know him as a person, but as a brand and institution pushing the most unholy and non-Christian viewpoints, right? Like, he's made the argument that you know, having sex with 17 or 18-year-olds, like none of that 16-year-olds, none of that should be based on like your moral compass. It should just simply be based on what the laws are of that place. I say, if you're a person who's a father or an uncle or somebody who has a young girl that you feel protective over, or have a responsibility in your life, personally, family member, whatever, I would say that you could look at an 18-year-old today and say, damn, that looks a little bit like my baby girl. That looks a little bit, man, she doesn't look much older than my than our niece, or than my daughter, but you know what I mean? And so then you start to ask the question, well, what is 18 and what is legal? Right. So then we have to have in society a cutoff, an age group, and say, okay, this is the law. And you can fall within the perspective of that law, but then you have to have your own moral law. Those moral laws say what is a woman and what is a girl. And this is the group that's been obsessed with saying what a woman is. As far as I'm concerned, the aspects of what a woman is, you fall very short of that at 18. To say that there isn't a way that life could work, that an 18-year-old would be as mature as like a 40-year-old woman, right? Sure. But then again, it stands to reason as to why this person searching out this young woman wouldn't then, in fact, have found somebody who challenges them mentally. You're not going to tell me that even the most matured 18-year-old wouldn't stack up to a larger percentage of older women. No. So then we go into the why of it all. If it's not mentally stimulating, if these people aren't mature enough to grow with you and understand, right? Because relationships are very difficult, then it's something else. What is that something else? The very likelihood is that it's a physical thing. And if it is a physical thing, and there's something that you enjoy more about 17 and 18-year-olds than you do, let's say 25 through 30 or 35 or whatever, then it's likely the look of their prepubescent look. It's likely that you identify something in them that is closer to what it is that you're looking for. That's a big presumption from me. I wouldn't argue that case. What I am saying is that is probably the biggest thing it could be than anything else that's actually genuine. So if the idea is that it's legal to have sex with an 18-year-old and it's your best remedy for not having sex with a 14-year-old, what do you want me to say? Congratulations. Thank you for not ruining it. But that doesn't mean you didn't ruin this kid's life. She's 18. So there's no difference. Like, I'm sorry. She is not matured enough. So to this point, all you're saying is you've spared a child that's not legal. And instead you try to take advantage of someone who falls into the perspective of legal, but not into the mental inclinations that someone, an adult who doesn't want to have sex with kids, would be looking for, right? In another human being. I don't know. So again, I can sit here and be disgusted by a person like Andrew Wilson, be absolutely on opposite ends of the moral landscape, and sit here and say, but you know what? He does debate well. And that's to say that he's not really looking to get to facts or to truths together. He's looking more to win a debate, and possibly Harry the same thing. I don't know that I've seen enough of him to say that. Do we see Bayley again in the WWE in the next month, or is she off? I don't think that Bayley's contract is up that soon. Everybody keeps saying it is, but I've seen several reports that say she's through summer. Or she's well into the fall too. So there's some people that are saying it's not even till December. Yo, what the fuck is this? Whoa, whoa, whoa. What is going on here? Fucking whoa, whoa, whoa. All right, let me see. I think we are set for a relaunch of Bayley after a hiatus, Alex. Nah, I don't see it, champ. I don't see it at all. I think Bayley's gone. The reason I think Bayley's gone is because, or here's the way we'll know where Lyra gets over on this. Remember, Bayley was the one that came back with this out of pocket, wild ass, is she bipolar type of character, right? I don't think I'm being insensitive asking that question. That was certainly what they were trying to do, creative with the storyline. it's been switched and reversed in a way where now it feels like a passing of the torch, or almost like Bailey's job as the veteran to put over Lyra. If you're an active participant, on the verge of potentially being world champion, number one contender, always in the mix, always on TV, then, that's one thing. But if you are now in a position where you are expected to surrender a lot of the momentum that you've created to put over Lyra, that points to me as someone who may be well out of the company. So again, it's going to depend, but I think that what we're seeing with Lyra is very specific. It's happening for a reason. They're choosing now to put it over. They could have ran that tag team a little bit longer. Here's the other thing. They could have done it a lot of ways different because they were set up to. The story didn't shift on its own. Creative did that. Mercedes' IG post earlier this month has me speculating, Joseph. Yeah, no, for sure. Everybody, I think, is on speculation alert. He said, I wish to welcome you to Monday Night Rollins. And Solo's like, I've been here like 9 times in the last year, champ. I don't think you've been Monday Night Rollins very long anymore, champ. What did he say? What? Oh, Solo had the I'll watch your back at SummerSlam line. All right, I'm going to catch up, though, because I got to finish this shit. So we are Penta walking into the ring with the strut from you-know-what. For a comedian, you don't pick up on jokes well, Mario. Well, but I was more just explaining really that aspect of it. I'll be honest, I wasn't sure if it was a joke or not, but I didn't really take you serious about it. Most of the time, I expect you're either joking, trolling, or injecting like a narrative that you've seen. But no, I can tell when you're being serious about something or when you actually care about something that you're talking about. So no, I didn't think you were being serious. I can see what you mean, but I think that's part of the plot. They're friends. Why not help her get a buzz? Yeah, exactly. That's absolutely true. And I think that's what's been going on. Why is it now taking that next level where Bailey, see, like putting someone over? So when you work with somebody to help get them over, right? Like a protege, right? Like Triple H tried with Cody and with Ted DiBiase's son, right? You use your height and your popularity to help bring those guys up. So as you go on main eventing WrestleMania and then SummerSlam and winning Royal Rumble and being the world champ, your faction is brought up with you, right? So in this case, we've been seeing Bailey's notoriety help Lyra's as she started out. And so now Bailey's bringing her along. But when you go into putting over someone mode because you're doing the favor on the way out, what ends up happening is you're expected, Bailey, the top star, the person with the real momentum and clout, to go out of your way to look like a dumbass to prop up the other understudy / the person you're trying to get over, right? In this case, Lyra. What I'm seeing story-wise that tells me that we could be seeing the last days of Bailey is a sudden and drastic shift in which where Bailey was and where Lyra was and the momentum they were trying to create has now shifted to a more one-way momentum. And it almost feels like the way they're telling the story is only one of them can actually go on with, while the other one ends up being like out for a while. And that's what you're saying too, Mex, is you're feeling that storyline take shape in that kind of way. It's the same thing you said with John Cena and Gunther, right? How that was done so terribly because they made it seem like if John Cena was coming back. If you watch wrestling, you've been programmed to understand storyline and how it develops. And because they were showing us tropes that we're used to, we expected a follow-up from Cena, or certainly concerning Cena, which we did not, right? It was really only to throw shift then into the AJ narrative. So you're right. I'm not disagreeing with you. This could all be for naught. I could be looking way too into it. But I think it is curious. Why now? Why all of a sudden, right? Especially here where it's like Lyra doesn't have anything going on with SummerSlam. They're not trying to get her ready for WrestleMania, or, you know what I mean? Like, And if they are, they're doing it way in advance. And the only reason to do that is because you have someone in Bailey doing the favor on the way out. Look, if Bailey was like re-signed for another 10 years, they wouldn't be trying to do this stuff with Lyra. They wouldn't be, I don't think they'd be forcing the issue. Certainly not on TV, right? But now it could be a situation where they're like, okay, we have X amount of time before Bailey's gone. She is absolutely a wrestling person, right? A wrestling person. And a wrestling person knows that they are to do the job on the way out. So they have somebody who's willing to do the job in a way that a lot of other people don't. Dude, did y'all see the Jeff Jarrett stuff? That Jeff Jarrett stuff, man, he showed a lot. If you are a normal human being who hasn't been ideologically captured, i.e. Mario, that's funny. I mean, yes, absolutely. And I think that's why my show works a little different and why I work a little different. Yes, I have been captured ideologically. And I've explained it on multiple times as it related to why I voted for Bush, why I voted for Obama, things like that. I've learned that they call it ideology for a reason because it's mostly ideological. And so I work to unfuck myself or unpropagandize myself. That doesn't mean that it worked. That doesn't mean I'm done. It doesn't mean I'll be done one day. It just means that I've at least conceded to the idea that I have been captured and refuse to play part in that any longer. And so I don't, now I just call a spade a spade. Trump isn't a piece of shit because I disagree with his policies. He has none. He's not a piece of shit because, his political framework is dumber than mine. He doesn't have one. Historical reference any worse than mine. He doesn't have any, right? Mine are simple. He tried to undermine the very nature of what it means to be American. He is by far the least American president in my era of watching presidents. I don't think anyone has betrayed America worse than he has in this kind of way. And the only reason he, I think, attempted to do it because he thought he could get away with it. And so far he has to a degree, right? When you still have people who occupy serious roles in the government refusing to acknowledge that not only did he lose the 2020 election, but literally everything we knew, right? They told him China wanted him to lose, just like they told him Russia wanted him to win. All of it was true. Nothing was hidden. They said our voting machines are fucking old as shit. They said that they're vulnerable, but that's not the point he was making. He's saying fucking Democrats are coming and changing fucking things. That's what he said. That's what he thought this whole scandal was about. Never saw a fucking thing. So again, all you're trying to do is undermine a core value of what makes us the country we are. For all the people that want to just say, you know what, fuck democracy, we should be a Christian nation that does blah, 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 and does this, that's un-American. Just like it's un-American to say, you know what, trans girls have the right to play with other little girls. We don't need any testing or studies to prove it. Fucking bullshit. I call bullshit on both sides. I show me someone else who's doing it. I mean, there's a lot of people who pretend to do it, right? But they won't call Donald Trump what I'll call him, the biggest traitor in the history of politics by far, because he tried to undermine the will of the people. You can say the Democrats have done that. I'll point back. Show me when they have done it so egregiously. And then you'll say, I'm sorry, I didn't read any of the lawsuits, any of the data and the transcripts, right? The lawsuits, the junctions that the judges shot down, their rulings. And I'll say, well, that explains why you have a chill with our president currently. You have a chill with him that I don't. Not because I hate him, not because of this derangement of Trump, but because of this love for America that I have. Maybe it's sad. Maybe it makes me pathetic. Or maybe it makes me the only real patriot. Go figure. Data equals bullshit. No, that's not even close to the truth. Men lie, women lie. And data can be used to lie. We've seen that. But no, data is the only thing we have, right? It's not to say that we should look at it like fucking God's talking to us. Not at all. We shouldn't look at it as a religion. Not at all. but it certainly does paint a picture. And that picture is oftentimes rooted in, it's like people that argue with science that are religious, right? People that argue with the science of the religion. It's like, dude, your argument is just you're arguing science is wrong, but science isn't telling you it's right. Only religion is telling you they have an answer. Science doesn't tell you it has an answer. Science tells you what it's looking at right now. Okay. Science is the woman looking out the window telling you what it's seeing right now in that moment. She doesn't profess to tell you what those same kids riding their bikes are going to be doing tomorrow. She doesn't profess to tell you why the cardinal on the neighbor's tree is there or where it comes from. Science tells you what is outside that window and nothing more. That's why it can be trusted. It's not to say that, you can't trust religious figures. It is to say that there's more than data. There are historical aspects of all religions and their dogma that presents problematic. Mario will dig deeper into holes to try and prove he's not captured by making himself look completely captured and just letting him prove it. Yeah, but at the end of the day, the people that don't dig deep enough are the people that are the most ideologically captured. I'm having a stroke today. I can't say it. So it's like to say, digging too deep into holes isn't the way for us to explore the depths of what is fair when it comes to complex ideas, is to say that that idea is so nuanced that I cannot contend. It is too big for me. Therefore, I will stop here where it seems right to me. And all you've done is appeal to your own nature. Could you teach your son why Jesus is the way? Not by telling him how you were told. And I'm just using Jesus as an example. I mean, it could be math, right? Like let's use math because that's probably less problematic. You could tell your son how algebra works in the same way that your dad taught you algebra works, right? Doesn't mean that your son is going to become a mathematician or understand the essence of physics or geometry any easier. In fact, it'll limit his idea to explore. If you think you have all the answers, there's no reason to ask the questions. At the end of the day, if I explore or go in too deep into something, it's to tell you two things. One, the conversation is far more nuanced than either of us will probably ever understand. And two, I've made it far enough in my journey to know that I don't know, to know that nobody does, to know that gravity doesn't work the way that most people thought it did, right? When I was young, everybody told me that the Big Bang is why we were here. The Big Bang didn't happen the way they say it happened. It couldn't have happened the way they say it happened. We have evidence that proves there was not one moment where everything blasted into everything. Perhaps there's a bunch of Big Bangs that are associated or not. But again, it's like to say, oh, well, then we'll stop here because everybody else is saying it. We won't dig deep enough, is to say that you believe the things you're being told, but you don't. You're selective about it. Right? We all have to trust third parties. We all have to trust second and third parties to a degree, right? I heard Jordan Peterson in a debate where they were talking about this, and he was talking about, well, I don't trust third parties. Look at what happened with COVID. Yeah, you dumb fucks, but you trust third parties every time you get into your car, every time you breathe the air outside. All these people are telling you what is and what isn't, and you react to it. That doesn't give you the answer, though, right? It never will. Benny is the most fun and brings levity to political debate. He's in my top 3. Benny. No, Alex, stop it. No, you're not talking about Benny Johnson. Please, God, tell me. He's like one of the worst debaters. He's one of the worst debaters. It's all feels and vibes for him. Like nothing is proven. It's all like, and here's the thing. If you want to have a conversation about God or whatever you want to have a conversation about, and you want to say like, this is it for me. Like, this is what I believe makes it true. Fine. That's perfectly fine for you. I believe in God. No one will ever, you know how I know there is a God? This is going to sound crazy to all of you. I got Canella. I was lucky or not lucky. I was blessed enough to have her. And that's not that. Let me give you the data points on that. My grandmother is the best woman that's ever lived. My parents tried their hardest. All right. And my wife is, I think, the model for what the kind of woman you'd hope you'd have to make things work. That sounds crazy to y'all. That sounds like I'm just giving y'all my side of the story. It just sounds like I'm trying to use things that happen to me to convince you that there's a God. But that's the thing. I don't give a fuck what you believe. I don't care. I don't care that Canella is not enough for you to believe in God. Why would I give a fuck? Why? How would I give a fuck? God is personal at the end of the day. But yet I also believe that it's personal for everybody in the same way. I can't know how it works for you. All I know is that you're a failure just trying. It's a failing. I shouldn't say you're a failure. I should say the argument is a failing one, just trying. I'm sorry, Benny Johnson's the worst. Mario looks like the kind of guy who uses the phrase cis women often. I don't even know what a cis woman is, champ. We get it, Mario. Move on to the and half joke. No, I know. Listen to me. I know Alex well enough, like, to know that he's like trolling a lot of times. That's why I always tell Mex, like, anytime him and Mex are debating something, like, I know Alex is, like, I've seen him, I know him, I've met him. Like, he's not Andrew Tate. Like, he doesn't worship that guy. He doesn't think he's the fucking, he doesn't. I've seen him in his house. He has no portraits of the man on there, right? And maybe he enjoys him in kind of the same way I enjoy Ryan Clark, right? I mean, I don't think so, but maybe. So yeah, no, I know y'all are joking. And by the way, like, I assume a lot of times y'all present this stuff to help, like, move the show. You know what I mean? And so I appreciate that all the time. I really do. I don't ever think that y'all's morals and beliefs are rooted to what is put in the chat. I promise you, I'll never believe it. I know y'all well enough, right? Like, if you were fat, ooh, I almost said it, dog. I almost said it. If you were fat ass Kenny, yeah, I think Kenny's got a small dick and low testosterone. I'm not gonna lie about that. I think Kenny's got a small dick and low testosterone. I don't even know why he watches the show. I've told him many times to stop watching. You know what I mean? I would never tell y'all to stop watching because I know what y'all are giving me on air ain't who y'all are. Like, what? Just like y'all know, just like Mex has talked to me off air. Like, he knows the kind of jokes I make. He knows, like, I was just telling my wife the other day, like, I present to Matt and Mex in a way that I present to very few people, my authentic self, because I believe they won't judge me on a joke I make or a single statement. Instead, they'll judge me on the values and morals I stand on. Alex, would you rather deal with Prime Hulkamania? Oh, this is a good question. But this is as a wrestler, okay? Not the booker, not the promoter, the wrestler. You want to get over against one of these guys. Would you rather deal with Prime Hulkamania or Big Match John Cena? And you have to convince one of them to put you over clean. We had a great debate over this earlier today. I thought I won at first because I thought, oh, obviously it's Cena because he has at least a heart, right, to convince him, hey, this is the way. And if it's not a heart, then it's at least a branding thing, right? No, that's not what it was at all. Mex completely shut down that argument, like, really quick. And so I figured out as like a scratch for me at this point. But it's a very interesting because, like, you have Hulkamania, Hulk Hogan, who would basically tell you, hey, that don't work for me, brother. The idea of doing what is best for the biz. Yes, I believe Hulk Hogan is the man to do what's better for the biz compared to John Cena. But I know that what's best for the biz is a self-determination. It's not like, oh, I've calculated everything and this is what's best for the biz, like someone like, let's say, Bret Hart would do. Hogan is like, in this moment right now, this makes me look like this, and the future is set up to do XYZ, and either it works for him or it doesn't. But Mex made a good point. It's hard because with Cena, like his branding's also based on these very, self-interest things. And like, who's to say that at the end of the day, he's going to have that kind of not even compassion, but the feeling like he's going to gain anything from being empathetic. Because I was saying, I think John Cena would be easier convinced because he has a heart. So like, I could come up to him and be like, bro, my uncle is coming and he's a Purple Heart. And my dad, he cooks for orphans all day and for free. And so, they're coming and, it sucks, but both of them are dying on Sunday. Saturday's the last time they're going to ever see me. I feel like if I gave a shtick to either one of those guys, it would be John that has the heart to be like, hey man, you know what? That's not my best John Cena, but you know what I'm saying, but he would do the job. Lyra and Jordan Grace been the biggest fumbles of the year. Oh, Jordan Grace by far, dude. Jordan Grace. It makes me nauseous when I think of how badly Jordan Grace has been produced, how oh man, this is one of those times where I'd honestly believe AEW would have done better with her. And she's probably the only woman in history I'd ever even say that about. By the way, did y'all see what Paige said about her heart never being in AEW? She was like, I gave my neck to that company. She was like, I had a good time. Don't get me wrong. I don't know. It was weird. It was a weird thing. But she's like, but I'm a WWE girl. And it was like, what does that even mean? I thought you were a wrestler. I didn't know you were. Never mind. I'm not going to say it. Big Match John. See, Alex knows it. Alex knows that the brand is too popular. In conclusion, I rely on whataboutism is what sums up what statement Mario. Yeah, that's probably about. Yep. Whataboutisms are very helpful in debates. Not the most honest way of debating, but you're developing some form of dyslexia. The word ideologically, damn it, is spelled out, and you're still having trouble with it. Mex, I think, having a stroke. I said it earlier. It was partly a joke. Now it's like a little less partly a joke. I prefer Young Sheldon over Big Bangs. It's super mid. That is a hilarious joke. And I knew it was a joke. See? And yet I'm going to tell you that you're fucking crazy. You're fucking crazy. I love Young Sheldon. It was very good. Well done in a way that Big Bang's not. But Big Bang is like one of the last great sitcoms. Like one of the last great live. Like we probably will never have another Big Bang or Seinfeld or Cheers or Roseanne or whatever fucking huge, shows were in the 90s and 80s. And so, no, it's Big Bang over Young Sheldon. You're crazy. But I will say this. The show that's coming out on HBO Max, the guy that owned the comic book store was named. Hey, let's go to Howard's store. No, let's go to. Hey, we're going to go to the comic book shop. Blank got comic. Fuck, I forgot his name. Damn it. Don't smoke weed, kids. So anyway, yeah, that show's coming out on Saturday. No. Thursday. It's coming out this week on HBO Max. God, I keep wanting to call him Howard, but obviously Howard's the one married to Bernadette, who looks like a fucking beetle. The band, not the bug. God damn, dude, this is pissing me off. But anyway, it's like a multiverse story. And they're gonna like run into like characters like Leonard's mom's gonna be on the show. A few other people that are like from the actual Big Bang show. So it looks really good. Christian Leroy Duncan is the single most boring, exciting fighter in the UFC. He throws awesome stuff, but it doesn't cause damage. It comes off light and point fighting-esque. Well, I can tell you that we could talk about that for sure because we have a big main event from this past weekend to talk about. Really great fight. Boring, exciting is a hell of a description for a fighter. Yeah, for real. But it does work though, which is even crazier. I don't know, man. Alex uses top G pretty fluidly. Yeah, that's true. But again, it's like the way you troll Bret Hart, right? Obviously, you know how great he is. Obviously, there's no way you couldn't be a fan of his, but you still give me a hard time. So, I assume it's something like that. I could judge you on way worse shit, Mario, way worse. Yeah, well, your ass has got a fucking open invitation to the roast. So let's fucking see it. By the way, my family is throwing me a roast. My wife is throwing me a roast for my 40th birthday, but she told me I probably can't go live because I can't trust what the guys are going to say. So the space lasers of it all, you know how it is. Robot John having emotions, sure, bud. Robot John. Just throwing it out there. If I'm the UFC, I'm putting DDP and Brandon Allen and Strickland versus Ema and Brother Breezer because Kamzat rematch. I think they're gonna do. I don't think they do the Hamzat rematch though first because I think you'd have to be on ice for too long for that to happen. I don't think they'll do that. I really don't. Like most wrestlers, their hearts ain't in AW, but that money mark cuts a nice check. Yeah, he does. Mario, at some point, I'll have a delivery in Corpus. I am assuming we will be having dinner when that happens. Fuck yes, of course. You're gonna come over. We're gonna fucking kick it. It's gonna be fun. I'm not trolling. Bret Hart isn't great to me. No, he's trolling. It's funny how he trolls. So let's see. Where were we? What? Okay. Oh, the Danhausen stuff. Did y'all see that? The dude that covers wrestling in like a Christian AF kind of way. He said he's done with WWE and all Christians should be done with WWE because Danhausen presents demonic. Dude, that is like crazy stuff to me these days. Like, it's crazy that it's 2026 and you still have people like that kind of religious. You know what I mean? Like, maybe if you're like a evangelical or like a hardcore Catholic or like you live in Utah or some shit, fine. You're captured by your surroundings. I get it. But like, you're just a normal dude who went to public school and like played sports but you're like Christian or even like Muslim or Jewish or whatever. And then you're like, no, this character's demonic and he's ruining the world. Whoa. Like you need to watch the news, dude. There are way more demonic things going on than Netanyahu. No, actually, than Danhausen. Netanyahu would be one of the things I would point to as like, it's like, dude, you think Danhausen's demonic? Have you ever heard of Netanyahu before? Never? Or listen to Lindsey Graham talk. Your roast can't be worse than Teofimo revealing Rolly's foot fetish. That was straight evil, dude. Okay. We'll talk about that later. Yes, thank you. We will go on that topic in just a bit. And he puts out for dinner, Mario. Oh, I'm taking him to the raunchiest strip club Corpus has to offer. Mario's roast will be bad if I'm there. Yeah, it'll be bad if I give y'all unfiltered access to the mic. So I am going to definitely not be live, but don't worry, guys, we will be recording. If he's that upset about Danhausen, I hope that guy never looks up the Ministry era Undertaker. No shit, dude. Did y'all see that, though? That guy was, like, super mad about it. He was getting, like, a lot of people to like his post. That's, to me, is what was crazy. But, Nick Aldis back. What do y'all guys think? No, I'm serious. That was unforgivable of Teofimo. Yes, from Rolly's perspective, unforgivable, definitely. But at the same time, is this not what we expected? Or like, I feel like this is the gladiator. I feel like my response to Alex right here is the gladiator meme. Are you not entertained? Like, I agree, it's nasty work. I'm not saying it's not nasty work. I'm saying when this fight was signed, didn't we all not sign up for nasty work? Like, that should have been the name of this fight, TEO Rolly, nasty work. Like also like TEO Rolly, both of them hate the dad. Unforgivable is strong, so I promise Alex will never expose your foot fetish. Alex exposed his own foot fetish a long time ago. Me and him both pinky swore, and then we jumped into the pool together and said, we have tons and tons of images of starlets' feet, all right? And a lot of wrestlers too, okay? If you are in the business of finding sable foot pics, then you come to me and Alex, and boom, there goes the dynamite. I don't understand why WWE isn't acknowledging Aldis is a former TNA and NWA world champion, especially given their working relationship, as it at least makes the match look not as asinine. Okay, agreed fully. He deserves to have that. At the same time, like the main Magnus, was it right? Magnus, that character is like very different than what Aldis has been presenting as his character in WWE. So I don't even know if you do it justice, really, but you're absolutely right. They should have, at the very least, acknowledge it. Like, you don't have to show us a video package or go into detail, but you know, Nick Aldis is badass, dude. When he was the NWA champion, he had that bitch on lock, bro. Everybody was like, holy shit, NWA is going to come back. There were literally people who thought NWA was on its way back to competing with AEW and WWE. Well, at least WWE at the time. AEW didn't really exist, but it existed without Nick Khan. It existed as these are the core people getting over outside of WWE that are capable of like drawing numbers that aren't super off from WWE on like a given night. But yeah, I agree with you. I am very happy that Nick Aldis is back wrestling. I want them to do it right. And so this week we are going to go down the Nick Aldis slash Mangus, whatever it was, history. He main evented the first All Out. No, All In. My bad. He main evented the first All In. You know, when Cody took the Meltzer comment personal about not being able to draw 10,000, I think it was. And they did that. And Nick Aldis and Cody wrestled on that first show, and it was brilliant. They had a great match. Gunther puts Aldis to sleep at SummerSlam. It would destroy his character if he lost. You're absolutely right. And that's the other part. Is this already destroying Gunther's character to a degree? I mean, last year he was wrestling Pat McAfee, or is that 2 years ago? Whatever. And now here he is this year wrestling Aldis. And also, wasn't Drew McIntyre and Nick Aldis supposed to have a match? Like, all I know is that this feels like not important. Does that make sense? This feels like not important. Or not important as it should be, I guess. And it's not that I didn't want this match, because I did want Aldis to wrestle. I just don't feel like Gunther. It's like, I don't know. It's weird. You had so much momentum with Gunther. And it's like he's this special attraction now, kind of, but he's not booked that way, because like he ended Cena's career. He ended AJ's career. And he wrestled Pat McAfee, and he's wrestled, and it's like now he's wrestling Aldis, and it's like, I don't know. I don't know what you're trying to do with him. Mario, would you rather have Gwen Stefani's career or Fergie's career? Very good question. I would say Gwen Stefani. Because I feel like she's more. No, you know what? Oh man, I don't know. That's an incredible question. Because they were both basically cucked. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, women in that gen, you know what I mean? Like, they didn't really get any respect. So it's like tough to be a woman and not get cucked in that sense. But they were cucked in a way that's like very, very specific. Oh man, I don't know. I think Fergie's the more of an artist, so I'd rather be Fergie. Gwen Stefani feels like someone who like they just like made her in like a plant lab, like Kesha. Like, I think Kesha was like a bunch, like 5-6 people, like millionaires came together, and it's like, hey, let's create a dirty whore pop star. And it's like, wait, what? No, we already have Madonna. And they're like, oh, no, trust me, this is gonna be like a super drunk college white girl, crazy. Oh, okay, well, let's do that. So then they like made her up completely. I don't think she's a real person. I mean, she's a real person, obviously, but I'm saying like the person that she presented as not real. Uh, I'd say Fergie. You know why? Because it's a fabulous life. Is that how it went? I don't even remember now. But he was champion as Aldis too. Was he? I don't remember that. Gwen Stefani. What kind of stupid ass question is that? That was my first instinct. Was Gwen Stefani? What was that quote from Ovis? The Black Eyed Peas are rap for people that don't like rap, and they're pop for people that don't like pop. And so that would be a reason for me not to pick Fergie. Fergie was in and out like a robbery after. That was a good one. Magnus. Thank you, Magnus. There was no second end. I mean, there's not two ends. There's only one end. Magnus. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. That's what I mean, though. It's like if he loses and the fans don't know Aldis credentials, he looks Mario's favorite word. Yeah. Not my favorite word, dude. Come on. That's not nice. You know that I crash out every time I use it. Yes. No. I think Alex had made that point very well, and he's right. And Max, you put it in a very good, you illustrated it even better. It's unnecessary. So then it makes us know that he's not going to win, right? Gunther should win the match, but Aldis should win the battle, if that makes sense. It does make sense, but I'd ask you how they do that, though, because I think there's a few ways to do it that you could be successful. So I'm curious to figure out how that would work for you. But you're absolutely right. They could do that. Gunther could win the match, and Aldis could be the one standing tall at the end. That's not like SummerSlam worthy of a finish, but it is, along the lines of what you're saying. Aldis should dog walk Gunther and eventually get caught in the choke. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Look at the tweet in the group chat margin. Oh. Dude, Joe Henry and Dom are going fucking life and death, bro. Holy shit. Damn, Zilla's out, huh? He said Gunther's next feud is gonna be with Stu the Camera. Oh shit, that's hilarious. Oh fuck, Aldis better have the most aura farming interest of all time. Oh, that would be sick, bro. Hell yeah, some Bobby Roode shit, bro. Fuck, bro. Y'all remember when Bobby Roode would just aura farm the fuck out of things, bro? I bet he slept with anyone he wanted after the show. Shit, it would probably be dudes that aren't gay waiting for that man because that shit was crazy. Bobby Atloff got bars by the. No, she does not. That it can't possibly be true. That young lady is a plant if I've ever seen one. So no way she actually has bars. No way. It's your favorite word because you knew exactly. Oh, damn, he caught me, dude. Yo, that was a nasty setup. Fuck, dude. Don't let me find out Mex is over here texting fucking people and then fucking showing their girls that they're going to the strip club. I don't know why I said that. That was weird. Yep, Joseph's favorite oos is on the way. He said it was his favorite oos in the chat too. Guys, Joshua by KO under or over 3 rounds this weekend. Ooh. I'm gonna say over. What the hell? So we're going Danhausen and Dom. Wow. God. Seeing Danhausen Oh God, did the cameraman hit both girls? Holy shit, EO Sky killed it, bro. Seeing Danhausen and Joe Henry in the ring together is like it's 2024. That was terrible. Bobby Alloff got them early onset dementia bars. No shit. Was it bad? I'm gonna say over, Alex. Yeah, I was thinking about it. I think over, really only because I think Joshua probably should get some rounds in just to be on, not on the safe side. That sounds weird, but there's more to be gained by going rounds and trying to find some discomfort to get out of than there is to go out there and knock out a guy that, offers little resistance towards that outcome. This is the fight isn't meant for you to win. Like, this is the big match, so you got to get a knockout in the first, second, third round. No, this is a situation where you are preparing for the next fight. And if merely getting the win propels you into that fight anyway, and potentially even losing still gets you that fight, then I would use it more as a glorified sparring session than anything else. Set up a parlay for AJ Fury KO and Spence UD. Damn. I like it. Matt Joshua versus Prega under over 3 rounds. Matt says under. Hammer the under. Inshallah. Damn, dude, that's hilarious. Yeah, I think AJ gets about 6, 7. And God damn it, Max. Mario, you think Keyshawn gonna stick around after the purse bid since he was already bitching about 25%? Probably not. Probably not. I don't know, dude. When you sent that text earlier and you made a comment too. I think it was a joke, but I don't remember what you said, but you said it and instantly it made me think like, yo, did we all get finessed here? Like, thinking some of these fights were going to happen and these other ones were going to happen. And now we're like seeing entities act towards, I'm not saying they're protecting the fights, but that is what the results of some of these actions are. Right. But listen, I like the fight if they make it. I don't think they will. Oh shit, I forgot to do a show. Matt, 6, 7 rounds, you damn pervert. No, I knew exactly what you meant. And you know what? Maybe it's my fault for having so many nieces and nephews of the age where anytime the two numbers 6 and 7 are come together, it is instantly regrettable that I'm spending time with them at all. Dude, let me tell y'all, the Warheads Ghost, this is it, dude. This is it. All right. I've told y'all before about other energy drinks, right? We've had these combos. I've told y'all why. What's Jake Paul's drink? I forgot what it is, but that drink's terrible for you. Monsters are not very good for you. Red Bulls are not very good for you. There are a lot of energy drinks that are not very good for you. C4s are pretty good, but I don't recommend them if you're not working out. If you're not using them as a pre-workout, which is exactly what they were intended for and what people use them for when C4 first came out. Because when C4 first came out, it wasn't in a can in stores. It was in mixtures, right? And you bought it like by the thing. It was a pre-workout. They had levels of them. There were stronger C4s in the black containers. So if you're going to take like a C4, you'll get the beta alanine, which is like what gives you the tingles in your hands and shit. The ghosts are basically all the positives of coffee or C4 without the tingles and the beta alanine. I mean, I don't know if there is beta alanine in it or not, but not enough that you feel like you're going to fucking, like your heart going to jump out your goddamn chest. Bill Haney says the big 100 million announcement is coming, but we'll see. We will definitely see or not see. I'm going to actually say we probably won't see it. Braun about to make his decision. I'm about to be proven right again when he goes back to Miami. Yeah, dude, I'll be honest. I did not think Miami was going to be a fucking spot. I want to put this parlay together. Hold on. Let me check my hashtag not sponsored sports book. Nice. Thoughts on C4, Mario? The greatest liquid crack out there. Certainly the healthiest. If you're gonna like start working out and taking a pre-workout, Gladiator's pretty good. But C4 works well. C4 works very well. It's just expensive to consume that way. If you're going to use C4 for anything like routine, right? Like working out or like going to work or something like that, something that exerts a lot of energy and something you need to have energy for. I would buy C4 in a powder form. It's just more, it's inexpensive, and it's also like better. It hits you better. It's absorbed better. The conditions in which you store it can be better regarded or monitored, right? Most places are pretty clean, I think, but like if you go into like a convenience store, in the middle of I-10 or something, there's no saying, where the ghosts and the C4 are kept as it relates to the vermin that, occupy that store. I said LeBron was going to Miami first. Oh, yeah, it was you, Alex. Why didn't I think it was Mex? Mex did say it, though. But I remember Alex saying it like literally the day that we found out he wasn't going back to LA. It was like 2 months ago or a month ago, whatever it was. Whenever we found out first. Dude, this show has been like 80% video packages. Holy shit, dude. So fucking good. All right. He said it, not sponsored sportsbook. This is the not sponsored beverage. This isn't me saying, please go here and use my link. I don't have a link. I'm telling y'all, I've been taking pre-workout since I was 16 years old. And this is pretty fucking good. The world heavyweight champion. Hot shit. Oh, thank you so much, Alex. In fact, I'm going to skip the other two. Sorry, Matt. I'll come back to yours, though. Was Hannah Rapp well known in the boxing community? Tragic stuff that happened. So I'm going to say no, not well known in the entire boxing community, but we have to remember that the boxing community is oftentimes very segregated. I'm not picking on anybody here. I'm not trying to make this political at all, but the LDBC would be like a group that I would consider to be fans of boxing that are very uneducated in terms of the sport of boxing, right? They don't follow it like the way that hardcores actually follow. They follow like a spectrum of it, right? You know what it's like? It's like there are like women that I know who lost their father when they were like younger girls, like in their teens or like early 20s, and their dads were like really big fans of the Cowboys or whoever, whatever team, right? Or like a college team like Notre Dame. Like I have a friend whose dad went to Notre Dame, played for Notre Dame, and she doesn't like college football. She doesn't like the NFL. She loves Notre Dame. She knows every player on the team, and yet she knows no other players on any other team. And that's kind of the way it works with the women that I know that like I know somebody who likes the Patriots because their dad was a hardcore Patriot fan, and they know their Patriot history very well. That's the only thing they know about football. So I assume you can understand what I'm saying when I say that, but Hannah Rapp was well liked in the communities that she was known in. She was somebody who people spoke well of. I'd never met her. I'd never interviewed her. Nothing like that. But I don't need to have interviewed someone to feel completely just, it sucks, dude. I'm not going to like overdo it here and be like, oh, because I didn't know this person, but it's like, it's tragic for anyone with hope or with a potential or with the future to have that taken from them, right? But more than that, it's the family that's left behind. I've often heard people tell me that losing their child is what got them to stop believing in a God or stop attending church. And I've heard people who have lost their kids tell me, in that space, the only thing I could rationalize was, how could a loving God create a pain as sizable as a child going before their parent? And that makes me look at things like this a lot different than I did, like 10, 20 years ago. Make cocaine great again. Jesus Christ. What a transition, Matt. Thanks for that. No, I'm just kidding. The face tingles are wild from C4. Fuck yeah, they are, because it has so much beta alanine in it. Hold up. Let me get my bottle. He's like, did I hear Solo Sokoa come out here and say it? I could trust him. It's like, yeah, he also said you had a small dick. Huh? Oh my god, dude. Kyle, why are you still watching? Is what I want to know, first of all. But here's the thing. That's actually funny, though. I'm not going to lie. $100. $100 would do it. I would do it for $100. My Cash App's on the screen. No, it's not. Oh, I used a different overlay. My bad. Well, yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it for $100. I will put my Cash App in the chat, and if you send it to me by the time Raw ends, I'll stay till midnight, and I got you then. But if you're just talking shit to talk shit, and I'm taking you a little too literal, then eat a dick. You can eat a dick. You can sit on it first, though. Sit on it first, right? Let it stay in there, because your body is so hot that it'll kind of cook it a little bit, and then take it out and eat it. Otherwise, send me $100 and I'll do it. I'll do it for $100. Here's the thing: you send me $50, I'll guarantee you that I'll do it this week. Send me $50, I'll do it by Thursday. I'm not asking you for it. You're asking me to do it, right? No, you brought this up and not me. How, like, this isn't begging, bro. That's crazy that you'd even use that word. Here's the thing: I know my worth. I know what I'm worth. Maybe you don't, but I do. And I'm worth way more than 100. But I would do it for 100 because it would be content. So I could do that content and flip it and make way more. But like, you're tripping, bro. Like, you're tripping. Here's the other part. I know you from the Boxing Boys. So like, why are you being like a weirdo for? Like, I don't understand. Like, if you don't like me, why are you watching, bro? That's crazy. You know what, though? Honestly, I bet you're gay for me. Like, everybody's gonna think I'm trolling now, and everybody's gonna think I'm being funny and I'm trying to assault you or offend you. I'm not. Like, I think you think I'm cute. I'm just gonna be honest. I think I got this new haircut, and you were scrolling right at night, right? And then you were like, "Oh shit, Mario got a new haircut. Damn, you look kind of good like that, though." Yo, and he trimmed his beard. Ooh, I like him. I think that's you. Otherwise, I'll get $100 in my fucking account. Until then, just shut the fuck up. Let's go. Spence UD, AJ under, Berlanga KO. Ooh, Berlanga KO. Interesting. Hitchens. ML. Hitchens. ML. What is ML? Majorly loses? I don't know. I was like majority, and then I'm like, the hell? The D is way too far from the L for him to have meant majority decision. Was Hannah Rap? Well, no, oh my bad, I already did that one. Not sponsored. Yep, hashtag not sponsored. Although if VMC wants to sponsor, yeah, exactly. Mario danced on the LDBC's grave after Wilder Fury 2, and they deserved it. But they already hated me, though. You know what I mean? Like, they already hated me. You know what? I was one of the few people, like, because I'm not trying to talk shit, bro. I don't want to talk shit. Like, I really don't. Somebody sent something to, or tried to say something to Ness the other day in our old group chat on IG for my show, and like they took it all out of context, trying to, like, you know what I mean? It was whack. But I'm gonna say this because it goes to this point that Mex just made. Even though, again, I recognize he's joking, right? He thinks I'm not taking him serious. I know he's joking. It's the same thing that happens with Alex or Matt or whoever, right? Like, I'm not. They know me well enough to know that if like me and them are having a debate, I'll just debate them on the phone. Like, we'll just, you know what I mean? Like, it's like that with us. We're like actual close. But I'm using the subject matter to address something that is serious that Mex is not presenting whatsoever. And so what I'm gonna say is this: like, me and Ness got into so many arguments or debates in boxing, right? Time has shown I didn't lose a single one, right? If you understand the narrative as it relates to like Canelo or Triple G or Eastern European fighters, or, you know, I guess some Asian fighters too. And then you look at the narratives of the flyweights and featherweights and things like that. Again, I won them all. Here's the one thing that I've never won, but I always said, and that was that black fighters have been historically taken advantage of in boxing. Absolutely. Nobody's going to argue that. I mean, not that nobody's going to argue that, but I would never concede to an argument against it. Even if I lost that argument because I wasn't good enough to win the debate, I'd never concede the point. I concede the debate and say, okay, I lost that debate. That doesn't mean that you're right. And so as far as I'm concerned, I never gave a reason for any of those guys to hate me, other than when COVID hit and we started a battle rap league and I fucking killed everybody by far. And they were just so mad at that. So they would have listen, this would be a group of over 24 people in a group chat and a Skype chat that would go on after the show and bitch about me, Ness, and TBV, the rap league, for hours, 2-3 hours, then come back on Monday and do it again. And they would literally have hour-long, multiple days per week conversations solely about finding someone to beat me, finding someone who could. They couldn't. I'm that good. Maybe if they got, and by the way, this is what Kenny's bitch ass is on too. Just so y'all know, this is what Kenny's bitch ass is on. This is part of the reason why I'm bringing this up. So many people came at me during my era of TBV about being able to rap or not. And so many times went viral, destroying people, right? To the point where now I'm comfortable in my place online, never rapping again. I've proved how good I am, and I've done it for myself. That said, somebody wants to send me $100. Yeah, I'll write a verse online. I'll write a verse right here, right now, while I'm covering. And it'll be the best one you've ever heard from a non-paid rapper. But I say all that to say they hated me first. And Wilder's part of the reason they did. I'm not saying he told them to hate me. I'm saying that he made it okay for them to hate me. And when he called me a fat Mexican, he made it okay for them to hate me because I wasn't black. And that was not cool. And here's the thing, like, it's not cool because it's me. I don't give a fuck. Like, you could do whatever. You could be racist to me as a Jewish person. Like, I'm not Jewish. I'm going to say, like, damn, you're fucked up, or you're gross, or I don't want to hang out with you. If those are your thoughts on Jewish people or Muslims or Christians or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But the idea that that's how they went about it, I don't know. I can't ever vibe with them. What's Kyle watching on? IG. Although I'm off IG now. But he sent the message on Twitch though, because IG I can show. I mean, yeah, he's on Twitch most of the time. Whenever he talks shit, he's on Twitch. So that's why I was saying, like, they literally have the link to pop in. This is a guy who for the last 4 months has randomly dropped in to talk shit about anything other than sports or wrestling or anything. So, like, I don't respect him. Moneyline, Yeah. I'm really tempted to pick Liam Wilson too to beat Cool Boy Fulton. Oh, that's a fucking ballsy pick. I'm here for it, Alex. Call in later this week and tell us why. I like that. That's worth laying something on, Alex. Yep. I can see it. So can I. They brought in actual rapper that Mario cooked. Oh yeah, dude, they were mad about that. I might have ruined his career. Damn, I was finna go bully him. Yeah, no, you know what? I think I'm gonna block it. It's not even. No, I'm not that guy. I'm not gonna block anybody. I'll make a Twitch just to bully him. Please do, dude. Please do. The only people that ever go on Twitch are people that absolutely love or absolutely hate. There's no in between on there. I mean, I've had guys like been like, "Hey, dude, let me do your Discord. Let me do this, blah blah." And then I have guys who are like, "Yo, I found you on IG. I just sent you like 5,000 word chats on why I think that you're a piece of shit." That's like, damn. Yeah, no, but the Cody, look, well, you know what? We'll talk about that later. Don't worry about it. He said if we don't like it, we can fight too. I'm with the shirts, low T col. Yeah, oh, that would be awesome, bro. Oh, I got to get that AI design for him to come up. He said, he said, I don't even know what he was referencing, but he's like, you said trust. He said, you're the debate equivalent of trust me, bro. And he's like, just like your fake rap career. I'm not going to lie. I would show his comments all the time if I could, but I can't. Twitch, for whatever reason, it shows up on my end. It doesn't show up on like YouTube, on TikTok, on X, on IG. Like YouTube comments, X, all those things I could show on the screen and it'll be part of the recording. But like all those other ones, I can't. I could show them on screen, but it'd only be shown to people on Twitch. Yeah, I was on the TBV mixtape, bro. I forgot about that. Do they still got a live link for that? We should go back and do a live listen. The Victor Ortiz shit. Yeah, bro. I got some pictures and stuff to show y'all. Yo, he got fucked up for real, for real. For the Jacob Fatu stuff. No, because it's like Jacob Fatu LA Knight. If you're having this match at this point, like, I'm sorry, this is not a big match. Like, this is something we've gotten a bunch. And it's like the narrative is like what? That your enemy, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. But like, no, he didn't even have that there. Well, you know what? Actually, I'm working on a show. Okay. I meant to actually tell Mex about this off air. I'm working on a show and I have been working on it for a little bit now, but part of the reason is I'm trying to secure the content ahead of time, right? And I'm actually going to see if Mex will help me out with this because, dude, I'm telling y'all, Mex made this joke before about offering, like, as part of, like, let's say a Patreon or something to be part of the chat. I'll be honest. I think that is probably one of the only real, like, honest to God, like, offerings that I'd have, because being part of that chat means being tapped in to everything wrestling, boxing, and even in the subcultures, right? They're the first to tell you of the news, right? They always have an amazing original take. But the thing that Matt does it too, but Mex does it at a fucking crazy level or at a crazy rate, is presenting topics that get engagement. Like, I've always been somebody who my takes is what creates engagement, because people like either strongly disagree with me or strongly agree. But I've been wanting to create like topics, create like segments, like create like like digital stuff, like graphics, right? And doing like presentation stuff on live. So for example, like the Logan Paul Tom Brady, I was like working on stuff this weekend, like just to like see if I just like run a show, what it would look like and like what kind of topics I could use, how provoking I could make it. It's really difficult to do that kind of content. And it seems to come very easy to, or I'm not going to say easy, but it seems to come to mechs very naturally. So coming up with like topics that will like provoke, and I don't mean in a like shitty, cheap way, like people do with like, you know, certain topics. I mean like realistic, good natured debates, right? Like, is Tom Brady someone that could be brought on to save the SummerSlam tickets? Everybody knows the SummerSlam tickets are struggling a bit. I think it's like 20,000 or just a bit over. And if Tom Brady is the guy who can come in and do that, then it says that there is, and again, this is all I can do is present my opinion. I can't do it in a way that it like provokes everyone else from having a separate argument. I mean, I wish I could, but I'm not good enough to do that. But the point I'm trying to make is that if you do that, then you're validating the method in which WWE and TKO were just recently criticized because they brought in Jelly Roll and they brought in Pat McAfee, but they didn't just bring them in to do a work. They brought them in for a very important and pivotal position at that year's WrestleMania, to the point where they both showed up on live TV. You know what I'm saying? In the main event to work their spot. That means that we can't bitch about that shit. It's like all we could do is say when it works and when it doesn't, but that's not good enough. That's not good enough if you're creative. Like, how is that fair to WWE creative to suggest, hey, there are people that would work? Okay, but then the only way to understand that is to try it. And so then we're left with the same situation. Tom Brady represents the kind of name that would very much sell tickets, I believe. But is he the kind of name, brand to be brought in at this point? I'd argue Logan Paul's not doing anything else, and the whole vision looks secondary at this point, unless you're Maxine Dupree and Otis. So I'd say that, yeah, that could work. But am I willing to open the door to future endeavors for people like IShowSpeed, for people like Stephen A. Smith, for people like whoever, right? I don't know. I don't know if that's something worth opening Pandora's box. If Tom Brady does a swanton bomb or a plancha to the outside at SummerSlam at his age, that's certified respectable. Dude, 1,000%. 1,000%. You would have to respect Tom Brady just getting in the ring. But for him to pull off like a swanton bomb or something like fully athletic, and by the way, Tom Brady, unlike Cody Rhodes, is a very good athlete. All right. Very good athlete. I could see him pulling it off. Come on, dude. No way. Oh, shit. Yeah, it takes a bit. Again, this is the same play. They're running the exact same play, dude. That was literally the same position that Jimmy was in. And then the same position Solo was in to do exactly what he just did. And again, it's not that I don't like it. And it's not like I don't think that they're doing quality work, but it's, you know what it's like? It's like Cody and CM Punk. I was watching the Stevie Richards podcast today actually, but it was from this past weekend. I never liked the Stevie Richards podcast. It's not that I didn't like his takes. I thought sometimes his takes were a little bitchy just to bitch. But his co-host is a guy that I very much am starting to like. And Stevie Richards has grown on me at this point. I kind of had the same problems with the Disco Inferno for a long time, and he grew on me at some point. So I'm starting to watch this show now more and more. Oh shit, Jey Uso's back. And so they were talking about Cody Rhodes and CM Punk and the match itself. And they were saying, dude, I have fucking the Nelson Mandela effect because I swore these guys had already fought. And that's where I was. I knew they hadn't because Matt had always called it the biggest match in the AEW never had. But I felt like they had already made it. I felt like they swam around, they circled each other in the waters enough to have made it felt like we'd seen it to a degree. And they haven't wrestled in like over a decade and a half or something crazy. Like, oh, beautiful pop-up Samoan drop. And now Jacob Batu hits the moonsault. 2, 3. Oh, and Solo's attacking Jacob. Holy shit. I feel like Royce Keys is like an absolute non-factor in this whole thing. They ruined the Tongan death grip. Let's see, Alex. If Brady does, the NFL community will lose their damn minds. Oh, yeah. Your mom goes to college. I'm dreading the fact that Brock's last match is most likely next week. I'm glad he'll be the first NCAA, WWE, and UFC Hall of Famer. Damn, I didn't even think of that. That's fucking crazy, bro. Yeah, he is. Look, you can think of whatever you want to think or say whatever you want to say about Brock and his career. A lot of it probably wouldn't be unfair, but you cannot deny the physical and athletic specimen that was Brock Lesnar. And I don't think there will be anyone even remotely close to that kind of performer, worker, and overall fucking vibe and aura of Brock Lesnar, a real life monster. Listen, guys, we are going to tap out. We'll be back at 10 o'clock Central, so 45 minutes. Appreciate everybody who was watching. Appreciate the few subs that we got. Appreciate Matt and Mex and Alex for helping the chat and the narrative of the show continue on. Brock's biggest accomplishment in my eyes is banging Sable. Jesus Christ. He's goated for that. Say what you think, say what you want, think what you want. Brock Lesnar is one of the greatest athletes of all time, by far. You know, honestly, I'd say he's better than Jordan. I do. I mean, Jordan is definitely better at basketball than Brock was at any one of those sports, but Jordan sucked balls at baseball. I mean, he didn't suck balls. He wasn't even close to half as good as he was at basketball. That's not the case for Brock. Brock excelled at the top at every single sport that he tried professionally, with the exception of football. And even getting that opportunity that he got is still a success when you think about how the dream for football players often ends. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, we will be back. Appreciate everybody. Infight and FX on all platforms, YouTube, Twitch, X. Shout out to everybody that was in the chat. Even shout out to Kenny. Fuck him though. As a pure athlete, Brock is up there for sure. Brock literally almost just walked on to an NFL team, and nobody does that. Nobody does. You know, Jake is going to be very disappointed when he figures out you have to be a competitor and an athlete, the likes of Brock Lesnar, to even attempt that. Motherfucker ran a 4.65 in jeans. Bro, I watched that Jim Thorpe documentary on Netflix this weekend, or actually last week. Dude, that guy qualified for the Olympics in what's it called where you jump over the pole? I forgot what it's called. Not the pole vaulting, the other one where you where they do the over the bar, you know? Dude, he did that in his work clothes. He was in work boots and jeans and did it, while other amateur athletes who were on the verge of making the Olympic team couldn't. That's crazy shit. That's crazy shit. Low T Cunty. Have a good night, bro. Hey, champ. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow. For everybody else, tap in about 45 minutes, and we will be back for the rest of the show. Until then, peace.